There was a pack train, apparently hunters, elk hunters, heading up. They asked if I'd seen any elk, and I said, nah, haven't seen any elk, haven't heard any elk. But I did tell them about the deer last night. The deer at my camp, all night long, relentless, walking around my tent, approaching very close to my tent. I think they were trying to lick the salt off the sweat, and these are my tent poles in the configuration that I have, and they're kind of covered over with fabric. I mean, yeah. But I ran into someone heading southbound a few days ago, another thru hiker, talking about relentless deer at a different campsite. And then she pulled out her trekking poles and showed me where the deer had started to gnaw off the straps to get the salt. So this year, at night, I've never been bothered by a bear, a cougar, a bobcat, elk, moose. No. Deer? Several times, actually. Deer and mice. They're typically the only things I've had to take measures against. So I am making sure these days, I sleep with my pack. Because when I was in the high Sierras, a deer took my pack away in the middle of the night. I heard it. The fabric is really crinkly. And I thought it was a much bigger animal that was maybe doing something to my tent, which is made of very similar material. And I shined my light out and I saw this deer, and I got out and I thought, oh, well, let me just check what's going on here. And I looked around my tent, and I left my pack in my vestibule, and where's my pack? Where's my pack? So I went in the direction of where the deer was, and let's say the deer was 30, 40 yards away, and had been. And so I went to that spot, and I'm shining my headlamp around, and I could see maybe another 50 yards off in a different direction where my pack was, because I would have been screwed. I would have had all my gear, but literally nothing to put it in and carry it. And I was in the middle of Kings Canyon at the time, miles and miles and miles away from any sort of trail town or highway or anything like that. Anyway, deer, harassing deer all night long. They would come up, I would yell at them. They would kind of go away a little bit. I would unzip my tent. They would kind of go away a little bit more. I would shine my light. I could see where they were with their eyes reflecting back at me. And I'd throw rocks at them. That was kind of the only thing that would really shoo them away. And there were several of them dancing around my tent, interfering with my sleep all night. Okay, into Side Valley. Down, 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 down. Yesterday I was taking a look at some of the upcoming terrain. There was one of the comments, people were saying, yeah, in this certain section coming up, there are a lot of blowdowns, you can't find the trail. And somebody else said, well, yeah, you guys are, you 2019 thru hikers, you're all weak, you don't know how to suffer, just bushwhack through it. Well, there is no trail here. Doesn't exist. So it's a little dangerous. I mean, right down here, I'm going to have to sort of step on this burnt out log. There's kind of no way around it. I'm going to fall through if I go on either side of it. I somehow have to get over to that area. Maybe I can swing around at some point. But yeah, I'm bushwhacking here. So I've been bushwhacking over probably the most dangerous little bit that I have been in the entire year. And you can see, so I've actually gone back. I figured, how did this happen? Here's the trail behind me, right? And there's the trail, you know, sort of over that one log, and you know, maybe you can see it, you know, going through the woods like that, right? So I followed that, and you end up in, well, it just degrades into nothingness. There are logs and stuff like that. I was halfway through the bushwhacking, and I'm checking gut hooks, you know, where am I with respect to the trail, etc. And it occurred to me that I had seen this pack train earlier today, and like, well, obviously the pack train didn't go through where I am right now, what appeared to be trail. No. So now I have discovered my own error, because right here is a switchback. Let me go over here. Maybe you can even see the two trails. One comes down, turns around, and goes there. Somebody has put some very, very minor sticks across the trail here, which is sometimes used to indicate, yeah, don't go, don't motor on straight, because I did not see this switchback back. I have wasted at least an hour of time. At least. I'm kind of cut up, a lot of briars, high angle stuff, scrambling, not good at all. Let me see if I can find some more branches to put across here so nobody else makes the same silly mistake that I did. It's usually the case here that when I end up with a degraded trail, the trail is right there all along. I just didn't see it. Okay, I'm going to try to improve the trail a little bit. Wow, this buck is actually still alive. I see it still breathing a little bit. I got about half the distance that I'm standing right now to it before I even saw it, before I even looked up, because the trail is kind of steep. There must be a hunter around here. I don't know. I'm going to try to find him, because his buck has gone somewhere. I don't want the animal to get up and, you know, like gore me. Yeah, boy, that was, wow. Well, I've been here about 10 minutes or so. The animal's still alive. He's wrinkling his nose just a minute ago. I can still see him panting a little bit. I can't really get around him. It's way too steep there and way too steep there. And I don't want to go right up next to him and find out, to my own chagrin, that he's actually got some more strength than he looks like he has. Get gored in the process. Been whistling, shouting, see if I can get the attention of the hunter. I presume he's been shot. I may look like a wound on the right flank and back, but I can't tell. Could be a wound to the head too. His right eye is just like bulging out. Well, this poor buck is here. He is still very much alive. I don't know how long I've been here. Half an hour or something like this. I mean, I need to get around him. The problem is, this is just like a really steep place, and he is still alive. When I approach him, his ears perk up. And I don't want to try to walk around him and get gored. It occurs to me he might not have been shot. It looks like there's a wound on his right flank, but it's not like actively flowing. Yeah. But it's like steep, and brushy and loose, rock, talus, and a mess. I don't want to end up like him, trying to get around him. I don't even know. Best brambles both places. Okay, I'm gonna try. I have to put the camera away. Gonna try to get around him. I can't help him. I hope he's shot, and there's a hunter who's now looking for him. I've been whistling and shouting, and anybody shoot a buck? Hey, anybody? Whistle, whistle, whistle. Nobody. A lot of times a buck can go quite a ways after getting shot before he drops. Well, this one's right on the trail. Right on the trail. Okay, I'm gonna try to go around them. Okay, I just tried to go up. Going down looks even worse. I couldn't even get up to that tree. Ten-point buck. Still breathing. Bleeding from the mouth a little bit. I don't see. Holy shit. He's trying to get up there. Of all the dangerous animals on the PCT and the AT. So is the deer. The deer. Not the moose. Not the rattlesnakes, not the black bears, not the cougars. The deer. So just to note, this happened. So Bark Shanty Creek is like a 1/10 of a mile that way. That's the direction that the animal was going in. So I'm going to be very careful on this trail. I think he was never shot. I think he was up on that slope and fell down and just landed on the PCT. It's kind of a catwalk here. Just heartrending. Heartrending. Yeah, you fall off this catwalk and you can end up down at the river at 125 feet down. Well, I'm coming up on the Klamath River Bridge here momentarily. The sun's gone down over the ridge. I'll be heading into Sayat Valley. It occurred to me that today was probably the most interesting and memorable day I've had on either the AT or the PCT this year. Even more memorable or interesting than the day I got charged by a mama cougar protecting her cubs. The whole incident with the deer is just still surreal in my mind with the buck. But even before that, and I don't know that I really even discussed this in the video, when I got off the trail, I was a quarter mile off the trail, I was in some very hazardous conditions, very steep terrain, stuck in the briars, trying not to break a leg, rotting logs and yeah, bushwhacking. That was the worst bushwhacking I've been on anywhere on either trail today, and the most hazardous. And of course, now I'm on this road, this highway, and there's no shoulder. Yeah, probably the most interesting day I've had on either trail, and probably the most hazardous. And I'm thankful to say I emerged with nothing worse than scratches. Just scratches from the briars and, yeah, bushwhacking through the really steep terrain. And yeah. Anyway, it's all good. Heading into town. I may get a restaurant meal tonight yet. Hope so.